I've been waiting way too long to open these up and I couldn't make my mind up which one to do first, but I think I made my mind up now. Today we are going to look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor and the Masters of the Universe Origins Panthor. Hello everybody, my name is Bobby and you are back on the Trash Not Toys YouTube channel, and today we are looking at the Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor figure as well as the Panthor figure. And these will be the first Masters of the Universe Origins figures that I've actually opened so far. So I haven't played with a Masters of the Universe Origins figure since I was a kid, and I can't wait to open these up and check them out and play with them, right? So straight away when you look at them, you can see the packaging is true to the original ones. This nice long card back. And I think this is part, aside from the TV series, of what made the Masters of the Universe toys so amazing in the first place, right? The colours of them, the packaging of them, the amazing artwork that's on them. Looking on the back of this, you can see some of the other figures in the collection and amazing Skeletor artwork at the top. And then it just looks amazing, right? I don't need to even know who Skeletor is. If I'm a kid and I see this in the toy shop, I want this figure. And then again, when you look at Panthor, it's the same all over again, right? Amazing packaging, amazing artwork all over the packaging on the front. And again, staying true to the kind of original packaging we have with this like extremely extra card back at the top here. And then on the back of the packaging, you've got, again, more figures in the set and some really awesome artwork with kind of like a glossy finish on the characters that really makes it pop. And again, I mean, everybody wants it, right? How could you not want that? So let's open them up and let's get up close and have a quick look at the figures themselves. I can't wait. So before we actually look at the figures, can I just say how ridiculous this packaging is? It's so annoying. You can't get it off. You're gonna have to cut it. It's now got sticky stuff all over the staff, and that's really annoying. What is the point? What is the need for it? I don't understand. Just put the stuff in a box. Put it in a bag. Don't tape it like this so it's impossible to get off. Now I'm going to cut it and I'm probably going to gouge the hell out of it. So here they are, and excuse my definitely not Masters of the Universe backdrop, which I normally use for my wrestling figures, kind of like a backstage area, but nonetheless the figures look amazing. And aside from the annoyance of getting that stuff out of the packaging and it's now covered in sticky residue, didn't think I'd find myself talking about the sticky residue all over Skeletor's stuff in the beginning of this video, but there we go. Just annoying. I get frustrated easily, right? And that just bothered me. It wouldn't be so bad that I had to cut it off, but now the fact that the tape is all over the stuff and it's all sticky and we have to use like alcohol wipes or something to try and get it off, just frustrating. So let's take a closer look at Skeletor first. The body is very true to the original. Obviously, this one is the face sculpt that is laughing. Not like the original one. There's a different version of it too. Two versions of Skeletor's face sculpt and two versions of He-Man's face sculpt out there. The material it's made of feels very different to the originals. Obviously, it's more of a modern day plastic, and these rubbery bits definitely feel like they're made of a different material too. And I don't know, but it feels like it's a slightly different purple to remember, but maybe my old ones were just really dirty and worn, right? Nonetheless, the accessories he comes with are the Havoc staff, of course, which it looks really cool. I love the sculpt. I've always loved this accessory. I'm into my heavy metal, and this is the most metal looking staff you will ever see. Got some sticky stuff all over it now, but we'll figure that out. We'll get that off. My only real gripe with the staff to begin with is, I know like on old figures it was hard to do anyway, but on a newer figure, they could have made it better for him to hold the staff. Like, it's hard to tell, but the staff wants to come out, see? I wasn't moving it. You put it in, and the way it kind of angles in his hand, it wants to go that way, and as I hold it there, over time, or with the slightest nudge, it starts to come out this way. I don't know if that's just because it's new. Maybe it will start to hold it better over time, I don't know. But I feel like they could have molded the hand slightly differently just to hold that a bit better. And of course, the other accessory that he comes with is one half of the power sword. Obviously, Skeletor's purple half, just like the original toys. This came as one half, and you got He-Man's half, and you could snap them together. And the idea was to use it to open the doors of Castle Grayskull, right? When you had both halves snapped together. Obviously, as kids, we just poked anything we could find in there to open it, because we probably lost this. But true to the original, looks very, very similar from what I can remember. I don't have a vintage Skeletor here to compare it to, unfortunately, at the moment. It's a little bit bent out that way, which is going to be frustrating if you want to pair it with the other half of He-Man's sword. It means it's going to kind of you know, not sit flush, but whatever. These accessories always bent over time anyway, right? If you've ever got any vintage ones, you'll know that Skeletor's staff is usually like bow and arrow shaped. But they're the accessories, they're pretty cool. He can hold this in either hand. It fits better in the staff hand probably, and the little hook bit holds it into place. You can just about get his fingers in there if you kind of squish it a little bit to get it into the other hand, and he'll hold it like that as well. So you can have him holding both. But onto the figure itself, and it looks amazing. Again, as I said at the beginning, the colors and everything in these Master of the Universe figures back in the day, I'm sure that's what made them so popular and successful. They were all so bright and vivid, and everyone just wanted them, right? If you see a bright blue, purple, and green, yellow skeleton guy on the shelf, you're going to want that, right? But the figure is very true to the original as far as the sculpt goes, from what I can remember. Like I said, I don't have one here to compare. The boots seem to be sculpted. There's a bit more texture on them, if I remember rightly. But again, I don't have one to compare. The big difference between this and the originals is obviously the articulation. So we've got the left and right movement on the head and a massive amount of up and down. And then the arms, which were obviously fixed in the original, apart from a little bit of swivel, now have full shoulder joints where you can rotate. They're still limited compared to a lot of other action figures, right? But it maintains that same style. But you've got the full swivel, the articulation on the shoulder, and then you've got full elbow joints. Again, limited compared to other action figures that have got the double jointed elbows and everything that we see nowadays. But you've got 2 clicks there, and they hold into place too. I like clicky articulation. Some people are not a fan of it, but I like it when I can click the figure into a position and know it's going to stay there, especially when it's being displayed, right? So you get that, and then of course you also get articulated hands, which have got a swivel on, and they've got some back and forward hinging on there. 2 different hand sculpts. One on this side is kind of like the claw grip hand, more like an open hand, and then this one has got like a C grip hand, which is better for holding accessories and stuff. And obviously articulation on that side is the same. The accessories look great. They fit on just the same as always, and they've got the same fixings and stuff that were really annoying as a kid. How often did you fight with this thing and this thing when you were a child, right? I remember getting super frustrated with it. You've got his little loincloth thingy going on there too. Again, these were so annoying. And then legs are massively more articulated. We've got quite a lot of back and forward in the hip joint there. You've got knee joints, which have got almost 90 degrees of articulation there. They don't go completely straight, but then Master of the Universe figures never did. And then we get a boot cut so we can swivel the feet, and we've got articulated feet too. Again, they have 2 distinct clicking positions, which are going to stay in place good, hopefully. And then there's a little bit of left and right tilt on them too. So massively better articulation than the originals, although what did you expect? And you can turn him at the waist as well, which is great, right? So we've got massively better articulation than what we had in the originals, but I'm super happy with this. It looks so cool. I can't wait to be able to pose it and display it and do all the things that I couldn't do, that I had to imagine when I was younger, right? Can I just say, it's also still quite difficult to get it to stand. Compared to the originals, they were impossible to stand almost, right? But this one's easier than that, but it's still very difficult. I don't know if it's the big upper body or what it is, but even with those big wide feet, very difficult to get him to stand. I think I can kind of get him where I want him to be and he'll stay there hopefully, but very difficult, much harder than I thought it would be compared to the old ones. Now it's time for his trusty steed. Can we call it a steed if it's a cat? I'm going to call it a steed anyway. It's a mount of sorts, I would imagine, if you're talking in video game language, I guess, right? So Panthor, the big purple cat that we all loved so much, which used to be fuzzy and now is not. Big point of contention on whether this should have been flocked or not. It isn't. It gives it more texture. There is a flocked version out there if you want it. It's going to cost you a lot more money, however. But I'm not mad about it. I like the posability that we didn't have in the original version, right? Obviously, the original was simply just a fixed sort of statue of sorts. But this one gives us much more. I say much more, but not really. I mean, I think the only thing that you can really adjust and use, it is actually usable, is going to be the head. It goes up and down like so. The mouth opens and closes, which is great, although who wouldn't want it wide open like that, looking mean as hell. And it also swivels side to side like a kind of rocker joint there. I think for most people, head up and roaring is the position to go. Maybe head down and roaring is not bad either, depending on on what he's fighting, right? Then the legs do have articulation too. You've got some swivel. You've got a joint at the shoulder, would you call that? I guess cats have shoulders, right? And then you've got knee articulation too. And you've got some swivel here, which is just weird. Although, if you've ever seen a cat attacking, like they do kind of like flail their arms out like this, right? That is a thing they actually do. Look at videos of cats running towards something attacking, and they kind of look really crazy, right? Because they have their arms out like this. But you've got those joints. The articulation in the rear legs is going to be very similar. You've got that joint, you've got the knee joint as well, which doesn't have a lot of movement in it, but it's got enough to kind of adjust it a little bit. And then the tail has a full spinny, so he could like maybe take off if he span it fast enough. And you've got some up and down in there as well. But I think tail up, big roar. So where the articulation is most commonly being complained about is there's nothing at the ankles, which kind of makes it like if you wanted to pose him sort of crouching down or something, it just looks kind of whoops. If you wanted to pose him crouching down like that, it just looks kind of weird because the way his feet are sticking off in the air. Obviously a real cat would flatten them out, but I mean, for what this has been selling for and for what it is, I'm really not complaining that much about a little ankle joint, right? I will be displaying him standing loud and proud on all fours, with his head up in the air, a big roar, tail up, looking all mean, and Skeletor will be on his back, obviously, but we'll save that for the end, right? We'll save that for the end. We'll put them together at the end. Lastly, his saddle, sort of armored saddle, much more firmer plastic than I remember the old version being, and still has a really annoying like buckle system underneath. You can obviously take this off. I'm not going to bother right now because I remember how impossible this was to get back on when I was younger. So I'm not going to do that because I feel like I'll be wasting my time. There's not really much to show under there, right? It's a cat. And it's the same sculpt as Battle Cat underneath as well. So they're exactly the same. I will be unboxing Battle Cat next. And the last thing to do, I guess, is to put Skeletor on. We kind of bend his legs a little bit. Hopefully we can get him to sit nicely. There we go. Look at that. Oh my God. That is amazing. I am really happy with that. He looks so cool. Yeah. So there you have it, people. Skeletor and Panthor looking absolutely beautiful. Great figure. That is going to look amazing on my shelf, especially once I put Battle Cat alongside it. I'm really happy. Check him out. How amazing is that? Right? Cool as anything. Super happy with it. It looks amazing. Can't wait to get it on the shelf. I don't know where. I need to sort out some shelf space for all this new stuff that I'm picking up now, right? So my first Origins figure unboxing, I've got some vintage He-Man stuff on its way, and I've got Battle Cat and He-Man to unbox from Origins 2. I've also got like an old episode 1 Sebulba's Pod Racer, brand new in box, which I'm going to open up on the channel too. So lots of cool things coming. There'll be some modern stuff like this on the channel, but a lot of vintage stuff as I continue my journey to reacquire all the toys of my childhood. So if you want to come on that journey with me, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be most appreciated. So thank you for watching, people. Stay awesome, and I'll see you really, really soon on the Trash Not Toys YouTube channel.